Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be doing a makeup tutorial. I have not done a makeup tutorial in like literally years, at least on YouTube. On Instagram and TikTok, I'm always doing tutorials, but on YouTube, I have not done one in a very, very long time. But this is the look we're going to be recreating today. I feel like right now there is a trend of like that ice cold makeup, ice queen, ice girl kind of makeup look. Everything I'm going to be talking about in this video and using, I'm going to be linking in the description below. So if there's something that you like, that caught your eye, that maybe you want to try, that you haven't tried yet, I will leave it all in the description below so you can just grab it easily there. But I hope you guys really enjoy this ice cold makeup tutorial. So let's just jump right in. Okay, so let's just get right into it. I feel like I always do my base first, and I'm kind of contemplating, should I do my eyes first? Nope, we're gonna do my base first. So we've seen these pictures everywhere, and I wanna kind of keep with like the icy theme, so I'm thinking that the skin would be very glowy. Now, I do have very oily skin, so having glowy skin with oily skin doesn't really sound like a match made in heaven. So I do have some products here that are still going to give you that glow from within, but you're not going to feel all greasy and gross. So I'm going to go in with the MAC Studio Radiance Primer. So this is a moisturizing and also illuminating primer. I even sometimes can get really dry in the winter, so you want to make sure that we're staying nice and moisturized, because that's going to keep your skin nice and healthy and also young looking, which we all on, right? If you feel that you need like a little extra bit like in the T-zone, like for pore filling, go ahead and do that as well. Now, I don't have any glowy foundations in my makeup collection because, as I said, I'm oily. I don't want glowy skin. I don't want anything like too heavy and full coverage for this. So I'm gonna go in with a more medium to full coverage. I'm still gonna have the coverage that I want in a foundation, but it's not gonna look like foundation. There's foundations out there, it's like, it's still very skin-like, but you know you're wearing foundation, and I don't really want that look for this makeup look. I'm gonna go in with the Dior Forever Foundation. This is in the shade 0N. This is still gonna give you like the coverage we want, but you can see it's a little bit more thin. It's gonna make it look a little bit more natural on the skin. You're still gonna get that beautiful glow from within. So I'm just going to do this all over the face. Don't forget to bring it down the neck a bit. This foundation is really nice too because it is a buildable foundation, so you could add an extra layer, and sometimes I feel like I have to in certain areas. You can add that extra coverage where you feel like it's needed. So next I'm gonna contour, and I'm gonna do something a little bit different this time, because I feel like when I think about Ice Queen or an ice cold makeup look, I think of like blues, whites, very cool toned colors. I'm gonna go in with the e.l.f. Halo Glow Contour, and this one is a little bit more on the cool side. This is in the shade Fair Light. So this is light medium and this is fair light. So you can see that this one we're going to use is definitely a little bit more cool tone, whereas this one is going to be a little bit more bronzing. So I'm just going to go around and add it where I normally do. I'm just going to go in with a brush. This is an M447 brush, and we're just going to blend that contour out. So that's just one layer. I'm going to go in with just a little bit more. That's what's nice about these. It's like they are very buildable, which is great. So if you're not a person that contours very often, this is a nice product because it's really hard to like mess it up. Okay, so I always go in with concealer next. For this look, I want my under eye to be very bright and white. So this is the Juvia's Place concealer. This is in the shade 24, and we are going to go underneath the eye as always. I'm going to take a sponge and blend this out as well. This, I think, is a really crucial step. This is something that I never skip for concealer. It's just going to make the look all come together. A little bit more dimension to the face. I feel like when you don't do this or don't use the right colors for contouring and highlighting, your face looks very flat. And especially if you want to do like a full glam look, we want a little dimension in the face, you know? So a tip, if you ever feel like you added too much product, either just go back in with your foundation sponge or brush. You don't need to add any more product, and just kind of go over the areas that you might feel like it might have been a little bit too much. And it just kind of dilutes it. It also just kind of blends it all together. Sometimes you just have to like go over it again just to make sure that it's perfectly done, and you'll be good. So for blush, I wanted to do something that's going to be a little bit more like that sunburn kind of feel. You know, like in the winter, like you can still get sunburn obviously with the sun reflecting off of the sun. So that's kind of the vibe I want to go for this look. And I want to bring it all the way underneath the eye. So I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that. First, going to go in with a liquid blush. This is by Palladio. This is in the shade Sunny Coral. These are really pigmented, so be careful with these. but I'm just going to go over it and just add a few little spots of blush right along the under eye and the cheekbone here. And then I'm going to take a brush and we're just going to start blending it. When it comes to liquid blush, especially like this type of shade, this can be a very daunting shade to a lot of people because it's so pigmented and so dark. Do a little at a time and then add. Blending this all in the cheekbones and then right underneath the eye and over the nose. Back in with my sponge and I'm just going to blend it together just a little bit so it's not so white right underneath the eye. You don't want any harsh lines. Like we still want it to look like it's like a little bit of a sunburn feel, but I don't want it to be like white, red. You know what I mean? Now we're gonna move on to powders. Like I said, I have oily skin, so I wanna make sure that I actually am setting everything, but I still don't wanna get rid of that and glow entirely. So I'm gonna show you the products that I'm gonna use. And let's start with the under eye. So this specific product you can't buy anymore, and I'm so sorry that I have to show it to you, but I don't have anything else that replaces it at the moment. But you basically just need a very white brightening under eye powder. So this one is by Jaclyn Cosmetics. This is their Correcting Fair Face It All Correcting Pressed Powder. Like I said, you can't buy this anymore, but I haven't found anything that's better than this yet. But I am on the market and on the search and the hunt. If you have any recommendations, please let me know. With this powder, with a triangle powder puff, and I'm gonna set the under eye, and it is gonna be totally fine to go over that blush we just did, because we're gonna add more blush later. But when I'm focusing a lot of it on the inner corner, like right in here, I want it really bright, like right there by the inner corner of my eye, and then it kind of diffuses out. So now to set the entire face, this is another Jaclyn Cosmetics product. I'm so sorry, you guys, but I do plan on doing a huge makeup shopping trip by the end of this year. So I'm gonna get a lot of other products that you guys can still buy and try out, but these are just what I have in the moment. This is the Jaclyn Cosmetics Luminous Powder in the shade Beam It Up. So I'm gonna use this to set the entire face. So I'm just gonna take this powder on a brush and go over the entire face, mostly on where the foundation is. So that set my entire face, but we still have that slight glow within the skin. I do glow, like I don't wanna be glowy. Like I don't wanna look sweaty. And I feel like some people, when they do their makeup and it's supposed to be glowy, they look sweaty. So let's move on to bronzer. So you can really just go in with any bronzer that you like. I'm just gonna go in with a very cool toned one. This is by Fenty. And we're just basically gonna go over all of that cream bronzer that we put on first, just to set it and kind of bring a little bit of life back to the skin. So these are the MAC Cosmetics Extra Dimension blushes. This one is in the shade Sweets for My Sweet. I'm just gonna take a little bit on my angled brush, tap off a lot of the excess, and I'm gonna first focus it mostly on the outer parts of the face. But with this look, I want a lot of blush. I feel like it'll bring it all together. The Extra Dimension blushes have this sheen already built into the blush. You could also use like a baked blush if you want. This is a great way to add a little bit more of that shine and sheen throughout the face and giving that glow from within. I'm gonna first take the powder puff that we used for the under eye powder with no extra powder on it and blend those together underneath the eye. I'm gonna take my powder brush that I used with the powder for all over my face, and I'm just going to go over that blush really loosely so that it just diffuses it a little bit, but we still have like that sunburned kind of blush going on the face. For a little extra glow, we're gonna go in with a setting spray. This is the e.l.f. Cosmetics Power Grip Dewy Setting Spray. So you can use any sort of dewy setting spray or something like a luminous setting spray, something that will add a little bit of extra glow. You can add that right on in. So for highlight, we are obviously going to go in with a very white highlight. This is Ofra's Glazed Donut. This is going to be the perfect highlight for this look. And this is where you can really add that glow back to the face. So I'm going to go on the top of the lip. We're going to go right on the nose. Of course, right on the high points of our cheekbones. So this is a great way to pretty much add that glow everywhere, is with highlight. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly do my brows off camera, then I'm gonna come back, zoom you guys in, and we're gonna do the eyeshadow look. Okay, I have you guys really zoomed in. Love that for me. So for this, it's pretty simple, honestly. So I put some concealer on my eye to prep it. So I'm gonna go in with the Moira Sweets Delights palette. I like this one because it's more of like pastel shades. We're gonna go in with this shade, which is called Cloud Bee, just on a very, very big fluffy brush. But I'm just gonna bring it right into the crease. And then we're gonna add other shades on top of it, which is probably going to diffuse this out a bit. But it's just gonna add a little extra bit of that frosty, ice cold feel. Into the crease, but like a little bit above it. So you want to put the eyeshadow in the crease and start blending it upwards towards the brow, using our windshield wiper motions and circular motions. Okay, so then normally I would go in with like a more cool toned eyeshadow, which I can't really find in my collection. When I moved, I got rid of a lot of my eyeshadow palettes, but any sort of cool toned brown gray is what you're gonna need. So I'm actually gonna use the old Shade and Lights palette by Kat Von D, and we're gonna go in with this shade right here, which is actually a contour shade, but we're gonna use it as an eyeshadow today. And I'm just gonna go right into the crease with that, just to add a little extra definition to the eye. Then you're gonna wanna get a gray eyeshadow. The only gray eyeshadow I have is from the Conspiracy palette by Jeffree Star Cosmetics. So we're gonna go in with this shade right here, which is Diet Cola. I'm gonna place that right on the outer corner, and we're gonna blend that into those two eyeshadows. Normally I wouldn't use a shimmer eyeshadow for anything other than the lid, but for this look, I kind of want everything to be a little bit more on the shimmery side, kind of resembling snow, so I'm totally okay with this. But if you have a matte silver you want to use or matte gray, go ahead. For the lid and the inner corner, we want it to be very bright white. So I'm going to go in with a color base. This one is by Beauty Creations. This is just their white shade. And we're gonna take that and focus that right on the inner corner here, putting a lot of that pigment there, and then we're gonna slowly blend it into that gray shadow. Okay, so you could stop here, but we're gonna amplify that white a little bit more. So take the whitest eyeshadow you have in your collection and pop that right over top of that white base, and it's just going to make it pop out a lot more. It's gonna also set it, but you're gonna get a lot more of the brightness in that inner corner there. And this is a matte white eyeshadow. This helps with it being a little bit more like pigmented. So I always go in with a white eyeshadow, and then we're just gonna blend all of these things together so it's nice and seamless. You can totally stop here, do a little wing, do a little lash, and totally be done, but I'm gonna add a little extra glitter, a little extra step. I'm gonna go in with the Fenty How Many Carats, and I'm just gonna loosely pat that right in the inner part of the eye. Not all the way into the inner corner, but on the actual inner lid. I started with the brush, but the finger works better. So you can add as little or as much, but I feel like it just adds a little extra, like, ooh, an ice princess, you know? For the lower lash line, I'm just gonna take that silver and blend that down here as well. So for the tight line, I am gonna use a black liner. I can't do my makeup without filling in my tight line, which basically, this just makes it a little bit easier when you're having lashes and mascara. Makes your lashes look a lot more full. But the bottom waterline, we're gonna do something a little bit different than just plain black. I'm gonna take that white base again, and I'm just gonna pop my waterline down a little bit and put the white in here. If you have a white eyeliner, just use that. And then because it is an eyeshadow base, I'm gonna take a little bit of eyeshadow and set it. I don't know how eye safe that is, but I'm doing it, so you don't have to do it. So I'm gonna go do mascara and lashes off camera because I feel like that's pretty boring, but I'm gonna show you the lashes that I'm gonna pop on. These are actually from She Glam. So I'm gonna pop these ones on because I like this spiky feel, and then we're gonna come back, finish out the lip, and then the look is gonna be complete. Okay, lashes are on, so we're gonna finish out with the lip. So I'm gonna go with this lip liner by NYX. This is in the shade Nude Beige. So it's still nude, but it has like a little bit of like a cool tone to it. And then for lipstick, I'm going to go in with Act Natural by MAC. You can see she's well loved. Such a pretty color. And with that, this is the completed ice cold makeup look. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I really like the way it turned out. This is something very different for me. I feel like this is not like a color combination or an eye look that I would normally go for, but I feel like it's perfect for the winter. I feel like this would be really pretty for a holiday party, New Year's Eve, anything like that. Let me know if this is a look that you're gonna try out for the holiday season. So like I said, everything is gonna be listed in the description below for you guys. So if there's something in this video that you liked, that you wanna try, that you enjoyed, you wanna grab, everything is gonna be listed down below for you guys. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already done so you can be part of our family over here, our growing channel. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.